Horses may not be man's best friend, but they are extremely useful. Get your saddle and get ready to ride. We'll go through some of the top horse riding games available right now in this list. Number 10. Far Cry 6. At the time of writing, Far Cry 6 is the most recent installment in the Far Cry series. In this game, players assume the character of Donnie, a protagonist aiming to overthrow their country's tyrannical regime. The fictitious Caribbean island of Yara has been forced to submit to El Presidente Anton Castillo's whim, and inhabitants have formed guerrilla fighters in the hopes of restoring Yara's peaceful condition. In addition, the Far Cry genre usually includes a variety of fauna that you can exploit to your benefit. In Far Cry 4, for example, players can ride an elephant and fire at adversaries in their area. We have horses in Far Cry 6 that players may ride and shoot at hostile targets. Horses aren't important in this game because they're only a mode of transportation with the capacity to fire weapons. However, different horses can be found in different places. A horse is available from the start of Far Cry 6, however you can also locate horses in Kanuko, Quito, and Vengeance if you look around. Number 9. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. Sucker Punch Productions created Ghost of Tsushima, which was released in 2020. If at all feasible, we recommend getting the director's cut. This unlocks the base game as well as an additional tale set on a nearby island. Overall, the game is about a samurai defending Japan from a Mongol invasion. Players will face an uphill battle employing samurai skills and learning to use stealth to help our protagonist Jin. Because the game is open world, there is a lot of traveling to be done. You do, however, obtain a mount in this game. Players will choose one of 3 horses at the start of the game prologue, all of which have the identical statistics. From there, you may travel by horseback, battle on horseback, and even gain a mounted strike skill for your horse. Jin can use this move to leap from the horse and unleash a stunning assault. Number 8. Kingdom Come Deliverance. Kingdom Come Deliverance is an action role-playing game set in 1403 that follows a medieval war. There are choices and repercussions in this immersive open-world game. Because this game is set in the Middle Ages, there are lots of horses to be found. Some horses are employed to assist farm workers, while others are used as a domestic animal to transport citizens from one location to another. Horses that are used for battle are also available. Every horse in Kingdom Come Deliverance has its own strengths and weaknesses, so it's not a one-size-fits-all affair. You'll have to find a horse that meets your requirements. Depending on the situation, you may also need to obtain a battle-ready horse. As a result, you'll want to make sure your horse has all of the proper gear, such as head and body armor. You won't have to watch your trusty partner take the bullet, thankfully. Instead, if your horse's HP is low in this game, it will lie down until its health is restored, much like in real life. Okay, so it's not exactly like that in real life. Number 7. Mount and Blade 2, Bannerlord. Mount and Blade 2, Bannerlord is still in early access at the time of writing, so there may be some changes in the future compared to what we've written. Despite this action RPG has a thriving community of gamers and has gotten mostly excellent feedback thus far. Horses are another tool in this game that can help you turn the tide of battle in your favor. Using a horse can help you cover a vast area rapidly, while also allowing you to use your protagonist to fight people who don't have one. You can ride your horse into a throng and strike your sword at foes, allowing you to accelerate to your next objective. Number 6. Black Desert Online. For its amount of intricacy and gaming features, Black Desert Online was a very popular MMORPG. Even if the game is set in a fantastical realm, players will still require a horse to complete it. Due to the lack of a fast travel option in this game, players must choose between walking or riding a horse to get from one location to another. There's even a procedure for acquiring a horse. To begin, you'll need to tame a horse, which can be difficult because it requires 2 specific items, a capturing rope and a lump of raw sugar. Because capturing a horse to tame isn't always possible, you'll want a few of these items on hand in case the horse escapes. After that, there's a mini-game to get the horse. If you succeed, you'll be given a horse that is ready to ride. However, if you want some of the more impressive horses, you'll have to breed mounts, which is a lengthy read if you're looking for a certain breed. Number 5. Conan Exiles. Conan Exiles is a massively multiplayer online survival game that is quite popular. Horses will be highly useful in this survival game. If you're familiar with the Conan franchise, you'll know that the world is harsh and that traveling about to gather resources and things swiftly is not just an advantage, but sometimes a matter of life and death. Horses in this game can behave as pets, but they don't do anything unless you give them a saddle. It then becomes a mount, and thankfully, it's a game that focuses on the saddle you use to decide the horse's stats. That doesn't rule out the possibility of using XP to affect the horse. When you have a horse, your stats will improve just by riding it quietly or by engaging in combat with it. When it comes to fighting, horses in this game can be employed to flee danger or to put more distance between you and your opponent. Number 4. The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim. Skyrim, The Elder Scrolls V is a game that refuses to die. The video game, which was first released in 2011, is still relevant today, with new editions being released for the most recent platforms. We certainly don't need to go into too much explanation about what Skyrim is at this point, but horses were really useful in this RPG. Horses were another mode of transportation, and at one point in Skyrim, it was all they were good for. It wasn't until a post-launch patch that players were able to employ combat while riding a horse. There wasn't much of a difference between the normal horses you could buy from a stable, but there were a few special mounts that could only be won by completing particular tasks. Shadomir, for example, is a one-of-a-kind horse that can only be earned by completing the Dark Brotherhood questline. Not only did it have a unique appearance, but it was also stronger than other horses, making it more valuable in warfare. Number 3. The Witcher 3. You might recall Roach's AI being buggy when you first recall your loyal steed in Witcher 3. It's impossible to say where you'll locate Roach in this game. Roach, on the other hand, has become a much more gentle animal since the bugs have gone away. Horses, like other RPG titles on this list, are just another way to get about rapidly in The Witcher 3. Number 2. The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild is arguably the best Zelda game ever released. It surely has a large following, and since its release, it has become a must-have for Nintendo Switch owners. There's a lot to see and do in this open-world Zelda game, and Link has a few options for getting around. However, you can't have a Link without a mount like Epona, which you may acquire with an amiibo. There are a lot of various rides and horses to choose from in this game. There's even a bear you can ride, if you're brave enough. As previously stated, there are various different types of mounts that Link must tame in order to use them to travel the globe. In terms of statistics, each horse is unique. Outside of some of the more renowned horses, such as the giant horse, it all varies. While these horses can assist Link in getting from one location to another, they can also be useful for smashing through adversaries. Number 1. Red Dead Redemption 2. You had to know this was going to be the top pick, right? The sequel adds a lot more stuff to the game, such as horses, for players to experience. There are now a greater number of horses to choose from, each with its own set of stats. In Red Dead Redemption 2, riding a horse is essential. Whether you're escaping the authorities or using your horse to aid lasso an adversary, it's how your protagonist will move and even become useful in fight. You can even take your horse to different stables to improve his or her stats, buy gear, or simply modify his or her appearance. If you liked this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates we upload. Thanks for watching.